What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony here at the Breakout Daily. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're back on the regular pod mic for this podcast, video cast, whatever you want to call it. Today, guys, we're going to be talking and technically unboxing almost 10, I think 9 yellow label CGC books. I'm going to explain to you how to get yellow labels, what to do, what not to do while we do this unboxing. But these are the books that I sent to Emerald City Comic Con, and I thought it would be a cool thing to share because I have had a lot of people show up in the whatnot room asking, hey, I can just send this to CGC. So it's kind of a dual effort video for you guys where we're going to cover autographed books, how to address them, how to get a yellow label from CGC, and what to do if you want to get it slabbed and you can't go through CGC. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so it feels good to be back in the shooting regular videos here. We have a lot of really cool things planned for the future, so make sure hit the subscribe button if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Again, I got 9 books back from CGC that I sent to them via ECC, Emerald City Comic Con, and I want to add a little bit of layer before I show you these books. There's some pretty cool books in here explaining what to do. So I grabbed some examples, right? These 2 books I got from San Diego Comic-Con last year in 2022. I got to meet David Mack. He had these books, and it's Daredevil 1, Mack cover, signed it, and then the Daredevil 1 Virgin that is signed and remarked. Now, a couple of things to consider for getting signed books that may or may not matter with you up front is COA, Certificate of Authenticity. Now, some books come with them, some don't. Some artists have them, some don't. I think in the artist world, I've seen an uptick because there was folks that I visited at San Diego Comic-Con last year that did not have COAs that do have COAs now. And essentially all a COA is something like this. This is from Unknown Comics. They're just saying that, yes, we were there. Yes, this is legitimate. This is a Venom cover signed by Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman. Tyler Kirkham cover, dual signed. But nonetheless, I guess it doesn't matter how you get the raw signed book. Here's another example. So those 2 Daredevils were signed by David Mack. Here are 2 books I had personally signed from Boss Logic. Now, depending on the type of person you are, the type of collector you are, buyer, seller, flipper, whatever it is that you do, you may or may not care about the COAs. These were personally signed. Now, the difference when you want to get a yellow label, and again, we're going to run through 9 books that I personally submitted, is that you cannot just take this. I went to David Mack personally, had him sign this. It doesn't matter if you do that. Doesn't matter if you get it online. Doesn't matter if you get it on whatnot, wherever. You cannot just take, well, you can, I guess. You don't just take this and then submit it to CGC. You're going to end up with a green label that says writing on cover. Even if you have a COA, it does not matter. You have to have a CGC facilitator with you when you pick the books up from the artist. Now, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. If you're at an event where CGC is present with a booth, you go talk to them. You go talk to the artist, set up whatever it is you're doing. You're getting 10 books signed by David Mack. When you go to pick the books up from David Mack, you will go get a facilitator, bring him over. He'll put it in like what looks like an evidence bag, seal it up, and you can either submit them then or submit them later. You cannot tamper with the bag. It is a tamper-proof bag. Now, there are fees associated with this. And also, I would highly recommend if you're going to go this route, sign up for CGC. You can do the free, you can do the premium, the elite, whatever your deal is, but sign up for CGC ahead of time so you already have an account number, or you're going to be sitting at the CGC booth doing this yourself. The other option is if there are authenticators on site, which is an individual that essentially authenticates it, but they have to be a CGC authenticator and they have to witness the signature. There's no gray area with this with CGC. Now, That is how CGC works. Again, I'm going to walk you through 9 books here in a moment. Now, let's say I really want this graded. How do I do that, and how do I get a yellow label? CBCS offers a verified and witnessed yellow label slab. Now, verified means I send this in to them. They were not present during the signature, and they verify that, yes, this is David Mack's signature, and that's what it'll say. If they are present, CBCS can also be present at a con or wherever you're at, and then you can send that in with them. Similar to the CGC process, they'll witness it. The difference is for CBCS is one will say witnessed, means they were present when it was signed. One will say verified, means that they used their autograph specialists to verify that it is an authentic signature. Does one carry more weight than others? Depends on who you're talking to. Some will say that witness signatures, of course, always do. Some say the authentication is pretty damn good and it's nothing to worry about. That is kind of the nutshell of getting yellow labels, whether it's CBCS or CGC. Now let's walk through a real the real deal here. I mentioned this in the last video. I was at Emerald City Comic Con, Sean and I, and we both picked up some books to get signed. We should have branched out more, if you like, because at least I should have. I think Sean might have, but predominantly I only had 2 people do autographs over the course of 2 days, and it was John Jangs and Humberto Ramos. Now, we've got 2 stacks of book here. I haven't even looked at the second stack. It literally came in earlier today. This first stack came in yesterday. So let's kind of go over these. Now, a precursor, something to consider, and I regret not doing this. This was a mistake on my part. I started pulling books for ECC for signatures. I got rushed. I was really busy with stuff, and I foregoed those books and left them at home. I showed up at the con and bought some books, and I kind of mentioned it in the last video, but I bought a shitload of books, and I don't mean like 20 books, 30 books, 40 books, 50 books. I bought probably close to 2 short boxes. I think in the last video I said 1. It was more like 2, maybe more books, or 2 or more short boxes worth of books. So the reason I bring that up is because you have the opportunity to review the condition in detail. When I'm at a con, I am busy. I'm going. I don't like idling too long. And this is an example of getting a couple of books that I should have probably brought myself. So you're forewarned. All right, let's go through this real quick. I'm going to try to make it quick, guys. I picked all of these issues were picked up on site at Emerald City Comic Con. I went through them really briefly. I didn't want to handle them too much because I could not press them. I could not clean them. So, and while you dig through boxes at a con, look at your hands. I'm washing my hands constantly, so forth and so on, and I didn't want to touch the books. This is Strange Academy #1, second printing. This was bought off a shelf, brought to Humberto Ramos. And also one thing I forgot to mention, guys, there are fees associated with autographs most of the time from the artist. Some don't, some do, but you have to take that into consideration as well. So I had to pay a fee for Humberto to sign this book, and then I had to pay an additional fee, a inflated fee over the standard grading prices to get this book graded. These 4 books, I did not get the CCS or CSS pressing and cleaning. I did on the next 5, and I'll show you why. So anyway, second print, Strange Academy #1, signed by Humberto Ramos. Down on the bottom there, guys, what did we get? Bam, we got a 9.8 on that. Felt very lucky, to tell you the truth, because we went downstairs, grabbed a bunch of books, came upstairs, and had some signings, and it was pure luck is what it was. The next one, also Humberto Ramos. This is a part of a package deal I bought from somebody, Amazing Spider-Man #1. This is the first appearance of Cindy Moon. And again, signed by Humberto Ramos. And actually, just so you guys understand, this first stack of books was my first submission at ECC. So I had 3 books, right? Was it 3? No, 4 books I brought to Humberto Ramos at one shot. All 4, signed all 4, had the authenticator there, and then submitted them. And they take care of shipping, by the way. What did we get on this one? Bam, a 9.8. So a 9.8 signed by Humberto Ramos. First, Cindy Moon. If you guys don't know, Cindy Moon, a few books later becomes Silk. So with that being said, you may or may not have guessed it. Amazing Spider-Man number 4. Hopefully you didn't see the grade. You might have. First appearance of Silk. This one I was a little skeptical on. I was a little concerned. But what did we get on this? Bam, a 9.6. I think that's probably okay. I mean, it is a super clean book. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful 9.6. Let me say that. All right, so the last book from day one at the con is falling in suit with what you've seen here. Another Humberto Ramos. This is Amazing Spider-Man 5's second appearance of Silk. This one, again, I was very skeptical on, and that shows why. A 9.0 on this guy. Not that, and it's weird because it doesn't have any like glaring ticks. It does have a ding up in the corner. It's dirty. And I was a little skeptical. I probably should have analyzed the book more. But nonetheless, again, obviously all yellow labels. So that was day one books. Let me grab this next stack right here. Let me end with that one. So continuing on with the Humberto Ramos signatures, elected to get the Avengers Initiative featuring Reptile. This is the first appearance of Reptile, the new and improved. Again, this one was cool. I should have did this more. Sean's really good at this, being more specific. I had the orange marker on it. Again, this one I was actually quite worried about. This book and the next 4 books were sent to CGC's pressing and cleaning, mostly because I was concerned about this book and another book. So what did we get? We got a 9.4. I mean, it remains a tick. It does look flatter, though. I will say it appears to be cleaner because I was a little concerned after he signed it. I was like, fuck. It looks rougher, a little rougher. I should have inspected it further, but lessons learned. That's part of the hobby there. So bear with me. Let me grab this next book. The next 3 I'm going to show you are signed and remarked books, which is another thing, additional costs associated normally for remarks. If the artist is doing remarks, they sometimes have limitations because you get 30 people, 40 people, 500 people. They can only do so many. This is John Jang. This is Batman 125, first appearance of Failsafe. Again, this and all of the books on here were signed, or were cleaned and pressed by CGC. There we go. Beautiful John Jang cover. You can see Failsafe right there, signed and remarked. We got a 9.6, unfortunately, on this guy. And I'm assuming because it has like a very light ding in it. Lays very flat, so I mean, I will give the folks over at CCS a little bit of love. Now, you can tell the artist what you want. Let's do this next one. Another John Jang, signed and remarked. You got right there, if you guys can see that, signed and remarked. Same thing, Death Metal, or Dark Knight Death Metal 5. Bam. Nice little, I want to say death metal, and it's freaking skipping my mind. It's not the Batman, it's the Joker who laughs, right? So those are 3 of them. Let's do the last 2. I did another John Jang and then one more Humberto Ramos. This is The Boys number 1. I actually own this book, and then I sold it, and then I bought a new copy of it. This is The Boys number 1. Virgin. And as you can see, I got Billy the Butcher on there, signed. Beautiful book, guys. What did we get on this one? Bam, a 9.8 on that guy. I freaking dig it. He did the red eyes on Billy the Butcher. I thought that was really cool. Very unique remark. The last book on there, and pardon me, you want to talk about FOMO, buyer's remorse. Sean and I both bought the same copies of the book. The book I got was in slightly worse condition, and looking at, I know exactly where it was. They did not press it very well, because there was a ding on this book, and I'm like, fuck, I don't even know if I want the book. We ended up overpaying for the book because there was none at ECC. There was a small ding on it. This one went to pressing. It looks like they did something, but it's still very clear on the issue. Actually, there's two little dings on this book that I would have thought pressing would have fixed, but that should be an indicator of where we're going with that. That is Strange Academy #1 first print, signed by Humberto Ramos. And what did we get? Bam. Unfortunately, a 9.6. I don't feel bad about the grade. In fact, I think they're on point with the grade. I was hoping for a little bit more on the press, because you guys aren't going to be able to see it. There's a tiny little ding on the bottom that I was expecting the pressers and cleaners over there could have probably did a little bit better. But nonetheless, guys, those are the books, and we hope that this helps you to some degree to understand how to get a yellow label. You have to be on site with an authenticator and or with CGC present, and you can bring your books and drop them off to whatever artist you want and make those arrangements. When you go to pick them up, you need to go talk to CGC if you want to do the CGC route. If you don't want to do the CGC route, you can do the similar thing with CBCS if they're on site. If they're not on site, you can send those in a raw, signed, and even remarked book to CBCS to get encapsulated as well, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to drop a comment down below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Check us out over on Instagram at breakperiod.daily. Over on the Whatnot app, we try to go live every single week. Sometimes we go twice a week at Breakout Daily as well. Guys, we'll catch up with you in the next video.